What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Perfect Mess Podcast. I'm your host, Ray Molina, and this is episode 95. Two things. I'm going to give you two things. Choose your hard because they will move on and forget about you. Let me say that again. Two things. Choose your hard because they will move on and forget about you. Okay? I'm I'm at the point where I am so tired of hearing people complain about how hard shit is these days. How how life is hard, how all these things are hard. Just complain, whether it be in person, when I run into people, whether it be people on social media, whatever it is. I'm so tired of people complaining about how hard things are right now. We get it. And if you think you're the only one having things hard, you are wrong. It is very tiresome to get online or every time you have an interaction with somebody, they're complaining or talking about how difficult things are. You know, I start thinking about all these things that I've been going through as well. It makes me think like, man, why don't I complain more? I got some things to gripe about. I got some things to complain about. How come I don't start, complaining about all these things? Because I learned after going through so many different things and really trying to take control of my life and change things, I learned that I'm the one in control. If I'm complaining about something, I have the power to fix it. No matter what it is, I have the power to fix it. So why waste my time complaining to somebody or getting on social media complaining about it when I can just fix it? Yeah, some things take longer than most, but I still have the power to change it. See, here's the thing. Um, if you do not choose your hard, you're going to let things fall by the wayside and your heart is going to choose you. And I promise you, if your heart chooses you, you're going to be screwed. You will be screwed. So at some point, you have to look at your life and say, okay, this is hard, but I know if I do this, this is going to get me the best results. So I'm going to do this. Even though this sucks, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do that over there because I know if I do that, that'll also help me with this. But if you sit back and say, forget it, it's too hard, I'm going to sit back and I'm not going to do nothing. Don't think because you don't do anything that nothing's going to happen. Oh, the world doesn't stop. Things are going to happen. The world keeps spinning. And guess what? You sit back, it's coming. That hard is coming. Whether you procrastinate on a job, whether you procrastinate on your health, whatever it is, hard is coming. And because you sat back and let it choose you, you're now in a world of shit. I promise you, I've been there. Let me talk to you about something, man. Look, let me run down a list. Okay? We get it. I get it. Work is hard. Kids are hard. Marriage is hard. Divorce is hard. Losing someone is hard. Whether they leave you or it's in death, it's hard. Single life is hard. Yeah, I know. Single life was a lot easier when I was younger, but when you're older, it's hard. Dating is hard. Very hard, especially now. Why? Because there's so many damn options. Excuse me. People's minds lose interest really quick. Why? Because there's so many damn apps and social media things to get people, attention away from you. So dating is hard. Moving is hard. If you're moving to another state or you're moving out of a home, that's hard. Paying bills is hard. Debt is hard. Holidays are hard. Staying healthy is hard. Being sick is hard. Discipline is hard. Goals are hard. Regret is hard. Learning is hard. Refusing to learn makes it hard. Life is hard. Do you hear everything that I'm talking about? I could go on all day and just keep throwing things out there. Everything is hard. Yeah, the degree to how hard they are varies, right? But they're hard. I've been through all of these, man. I've had jobs that I hated so much. I hated getting up in the morning and going to these jobs. I hated it. Hated my boss. Hated my coworkers. Hated the amount of money they were paying me for work. I hated the hours. Kids, man, it's hard. It's hard being on point all day. Today, it was very hard. You know, parenting is very hard. You guys know my marriage. Like, I went through a divorce. That was very hard. That almost killed me, man. It really took me out. It was really hard for me. Marriage was difficult. The divorce was even worse. Losing someone, man, I lost. Not only did I lose my wife, but I lost my grandfather and my grandmother, and I was very close to both of them, and that took it out of me, man. You know, um, I lost my best friend in '95 to a horrific, horrific event. Absolutely terrible. That was hard. It's still hard to this day. You know, paying bills, man, is hard. I There are times that I love paying bills. That's when the money's rolling in and I don't mind. I'm like, yeah, I got it. I got it. You know what I mean? We pay this, pay that. And then there are times when the money's kind of short and it's a pain. Paying bills is hard, man. Debt is hard. I was in major debt a few years back. I got a little bit of debt. We all have a little bit of debt. I got a little bit of debt. Um, and at times it can be hard, but for me, I kind of got that under control. But yeah, debt can be hard. My holidays, those are hard because they just are, man. You know, they just are because you want to get your kids everything, and sometimes you can't afford to get them everything they want. You know, Staying healthy, man. You guys seen me a few years back. I was a big, fat, roly poly looking dude, and I got myself on this journey, and I bounced back. It wasn't easy. It was hard. I was sick. You guys know I shared with you. I ended up in the hospital once I found out I was going through a divorce. Um, had a walking pneumonia. It was really bad. That was hard. You know, Discipline, my goals. I have so many goals, and a lot of them I feels like I'm never going to reach. But every day I get up, I try. But that's what goals are. Some of them are very, very hard. Regret. I have a lot of regrets in my life. I've hurt a lot of people in my life. And you've grown when you can admit that. A lot of people have hurt me, but I'm not innocent in that. I have hurt a lot of people, and I have a lot of regret, and that's very hard. Um, I talked about learning. Learning is hard. I'm constantly learning, and it's not easy. I'm always reading. Again, I'm taking a test this weekend for my notary. That's going to be hard, So I'm studying for that. It's going to be hard. Um, but my life is hard. But you know what? I choose to do all these certain things, like go to the gym every day and work out. I choose to get up every day and work on my goal of running my business, this business that I'm doing with the furniture restoration. I'm choosing to go hard in these certain situations because I know I don't want to go and get a 9 to 5. I don't want to work for somebody. I don't want to be working to make someone else's dream come true. I want to make my dream come true, and it's hard, but I choose to pick that hard over the other hard because I know it'll benefit me more if I can get it off the ground. You know, um, I shared with you guys I had injured my ankle, and I'm still walking with a pretty mean limp. The bruising's starting to go away, but I still have some tightness, and I can't really um, walk correctly, so to say, on it. So it's still painful. Um, and I can't do cardio. I can't get on the treadmill and walk because I'll be limping, and it's the cardio is just not the same. I won't be able to be at the right pace and do all. I won't be able to. It's just not stairmaster any of that. So I've had to chill on that. The old me would have said, you know what? I'm not gonna go to the gym until I can do everything. I'm gonna chill. I'm not gonna go to the gym until my foot heals up. That was the old me. And you know what the old me looked like? Go to my Instagram. Look at a few of my pictures. The old me looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Hmm. I tell no lies. Trust me, I did. That was the old me because that would be what I would tell myself. You can't go to the gym like this. You can't even work out. Knowing damn well I can do abs, I can do back, I can do shoulders, arms, whatever you want, everything, but I can't do legs. But you can do it. So I've been doing that, and I've been going to the gym and getting my workout in every day like I'm supposed to. Going to the sauna, making sure I'm doing that. And it sucks, man. But you know what sucks even more? I started thinking about this, and I talked to some guy at the gym, and he was asking me what happened to my ankle, and I told him. And he says, you know how bad that ankle injury would have been if you were super over obese and out of shape and not taking care of yourself? I said, oh, I think about that a lot. He goes, yeah, you probably would have been bedridden. And he's right. If I was the guy I was before, who was 60 plus pounds overweight, who never went to the gym, who ate whatever the hell he wanted at whatever hour of the night he wanted, I would have been in bed with my leg elevated over my heart so I could, heal it, but I wouldn't be doing anything for a week. That's why I do things like go to the gym every day because I know this injury would have been that bad. But because I take care of myself and I chose my hard, and my hard was what? Go to the gym every day or a good 4 or 5 times out of the week and do my workouts and take care of myself. When this happened, I'm okay. I'm not severely out of shape to where I can't move my body and my body's saying, hey, we're struggling to fix this. You're going to have to take some days off. My body's saying, hey, the rest of us is good. That needs to be repaired. Make sure you ice it, put some deep heating oil or whatever on it. Elevate it at night, but get up and we're good to go. The rest of us can get busy. So we'll take care of that. We'll heal the ankle, but you got to get us to the gym so we can take care of this. Sounds crazy to think like that, but that's how I think now because I chose my heart. And now this ankle, yeah, although it sucks, I'm walking like this. It's so much better than what the alternative would have been had I sat back and let my heart choose me. You understand what I'm saying? You know, there's a lot of things that I think about when when I said I wanted to do this, and this topic for let's talk about it was I just started thinking, man, my divorce was hard. And once I got over the divorce, living alone was even harder. Like it was just, you come home to an empty house. Yeah, my kids are here now. They're asleep in the other room. But for the most part, you're by yourself. And yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm at a point now where I love my privacy. I love my downtime alone by myself. But for a while, living alone sucked because you just come home and it's quiet and you kind of miss the chaos of kids running around and someone cooking in the kitchen and the TV going and all that. I was used to that for so many years, and then it's gone. You know what I mean? Um, and one of the harder things is kids being between two homes. You know what I mean? That's not always great. Um, it's just hard sometimes. Sometimes you wish you could just come home and the kids are always there with you, and things were normal. And uh, the so to say new norm for me is, some days they're with me, some days they're not. Um, and that's just something I got to deal with. Working for myself, it's that'll always be on my list of hard, because those of you who have a 9 to 5, if you call in sick, you got sick time, whatever, you got vacation, whatever. There's no sick time for me. So if I'm sick and I'm in bed, I'm not getting paid unless like I have stuff on sale online, people buy it, but I still have to do a certain amount of work for what I do. Like I have to meet somebody to so they can pick something up that I did, or I have to deliver it. So there's a certain amount of work I have to do there. But typically, if I can't work, I'm not going to be making money. You know what I mean? So that's something that I need to work on for the future. That I need to get stuff in order to where I'm making money whether I'm working or not. Okay, that's where the stock investments come. That's where all that comes in. I am still a pretty novice when it comes to stock investing and whatnot. I've got my hand in there, and I've been teaching my kids what I know, but I'm still not the most knowledgeable about that. I'm picking and choosing what I put my money into, especially these days. It's not the safest bet. Um, so these are all the things that I deal with personally that are hard. They're difficult, man. But like I say, I wake up every day and I choose my hard because when I make the decision of what I'm going to deal with that's hard, it makes everything else easy. Okay, like my injury, it makes everything else easy when you choose the hard. I want to tell you a story that happened to me today. Give me one second. I've been doing these day in my life videos on TikTok, and for some reason, people seem to like them. Um, I just took a shot and did it the other day, and it got some good feedback. So I'm gonna do them whenever I feel the urge to do something. So today I got a call to pick up a dresser. I have a flyer that circulates around the internet that tells people like if you're moving and you're just trying to get rid of something, uh, the dresser. If you're trying to get rid of your dresser, don't trash it. Don't leave it on the side of the road. I'll come pick it up as long as it's fully functional, but needs some repairs or whatever. I'll pick it up. Text me, call me, send me photos, let me know, and if I'm interested for sure, I'll come down, pick it up, and do that. And so people call me all the time, or they'll send me photos of stuff that they're either selling at a really good price or they're just trying to get rid of because they're in a hurry to move out of state or whatever they're doing, whether it be a state sales or people moving or just people changed out their furniture, whatever it is. So today I got a call, or the day before yesterday I got a call, and I set up a schedule to go pick up a vintage dresser today. And so when I went to go pick it up, it ended up being at a convalescent, like an elderly home, um, like apartments for the elderly. And the lady I met there was related to the woman who I thought had passed away already, because they said, "Oh, this is an elderly home where they take care of the elderly." The lady's not there anymore, but the family's helping get rid of some of the stuff and whatnot. So I assumed that someone had passed away. But I got there and I started talking to the lady that was, facilitating everything. She was married to, I guess, the nephew of this lady. And she starts to tell me, she's like, yeah, she's like, thanks for coming out. She's like, I appreciate it. We're just trying to get everything out of here because she's got so much stuff and we don't live here, but we were called to come down because she really didn't have anybody. So we were called to come down and try to go through her stuff, auction off some stuff, sell some stuff, give some stuff away, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, oh, really? I go, wait. So is she still here? Which kind of gave me an eerie feeling. And she's like, no, no, no. She fell into a coma like almost 2 weeks ago, and she's on hospice now. She's not gonna pull through. She's 92. And I was like, oh. They're like, so they're kind of got her to where she could go at any moment, and the family's coming and saying goodbye. And they're like, but she's not here. I was like, oh, so she's still Um, she's still alive. And she said, yeah, but she's not coming out of the coma. And everybody's saying their goodbyes. So it's like, oh, wow. So I'm like taking all this in, and I'm like, man. And she proceeds to tell me this story. And she says, this lady, I go, was she ever married? She have kids? She goes, well, that's the thing. She goes, so she never had kids. I said she was 92 and she had no kids. She's like, she never had kids. She was married one time. They were married for a while, then they got divorced, and then she just traveled, um, and she never. She's like, my husband is her nephew, and he said we never saw her. My entire life, she was never around. We would hear that she was traveling or whatever, but we never really saw her at any family event. She lived a very um, independent life where she wasn't around anybody. Didn't come around even during holidays. Like he's like we barely saw her. Um, and I said, wow, that's interesting. He goes, and she says, yeah. She goes, well, what's sad though is at the very end of her life, it got very hard because she didn't have anybody around her to kind of keep company. So as she started to age and she couldn't do things for herself, her life became really, really difficult. Um, and she was very lonely. And she goes, all she had was everything you see here. There's a lot of stuff that's gone, but everything you see here that we're getting rid of. And she's like, and she had a cat. That's all she had. And I started thinking about this, At this time, I'm like, cleaning the dresser off, and then I'm starting to bring it downstairs to my truck. And the lady is talking to me. We're talking as we go down the elevator, and then as we walk to my truck. And once I load it all in, she says goodbye. She's like, "Man, it was great talking to you." And she's like, "You seem like a very nice person." And I said, "Well, I like to talk." I go, "Maybe one day I'll be talking for a living." I go, "I have a podcast, so I talk a lot." Um, and she goes, "Do you interview people or anything?" I go, "No, I just talk by myself." And she's like, "Wow, that takes some skill." And I said, "I don't know if it's a skill, but I don't know. I just like to talk." So she's like, "Well, you're a very nice person." She goes, I'm glad this is going to someone like you." She goes, "Whether you're just going to, clean it up and sell it or whether you're going to keep it." She goes, "Whatever it is, I'm just glad that it's going to a nice person." I said, "Right on." So we said our goodbyes, but I started thinking, this woman isn't even gone yet, and they are cleaning out her stuff, her bookshelves, her dressers, her bed, her knickknacks, her tables, you name it. It's going to strangers. Boom, 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 just going. It happens so fast. You know, then I started thinking about my grandfather. See, so this lady's 92, and and apparently she's going to pass any day now. And my grandfather passed when he was 91, and almost a week or so later, we're going through his stuff, figuring out who's gonna get what, and and what he left me and what he's leaving who else, and then what's just going away. And before you know it, it's gone. And all that's left is the memory and whatever you have, the photos, etc. But I started thinking, man, look how fast. Look how fast this happens. And then I put it in perspective of me. I take my life so serious. I share my life with complete strangers all the time on this podcast. I share my life through social media. I share my life with some very, very amazing people. And one day, I'm going to lay down and within days, everything that I worked for is going to be given away to people. Just sold, given away until it's all gone. And then life goes on. It happens so fast. I started this episode out by saying choose your heart because they will move on and forget about you. I think what I'm trying to say is this. Those two things are so important because they go hand in hand. Choose what is hard in your life and do it. That way you can enjoy your life. That way you can do everything that you want to do. If you're out of shape and you're not living your life to the fullest right now and you know that you could be living a better life, get on it. Take care of yourself. Ask for help if you need help. If you have addiction and you know that your life could be so much better if you stopped, ask for help. Reach out to somebody. If you're depressed and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, ask for help. And if there is nobody around, get down on your knees and pray and ask God because He's always there. Whatever you do, wake up and decide I'm not gonna do these things anymore. That I gotta choose what I'm going to do that is difficult so I can live a better life. I'm telling you, because today, man, it hit me so hard. It wasn't even about the furniture that I got today. It was about the message. And I think, God has a really strange way of putting us in situations that are supposed to be more than what they were. And I think that's what happened today. And it just, it hit me like a ton of bricks, man. Because that woman hadn't even passed yet, and everything in that place was going. There were more people coming to pick up other stuff. And I just started thinking, I started looking around my place, like, man, When it's my time, yo, this bed is gone, this computer's gone, my dresser, my studio equipment, my weights, my TVs, everything is going to somebody. It's gone. Within hours, if not a couple of days. Because people have to move on. Because people have to, it can't just sit there. People have to move on. Let's hurry up and figure out who's going to get what. Let's get this going because we got to move on. We got to get to healing. And that's what it's about. You got to get to the healing. But you're gone. All I'm saying is we're all going to be gone one day. Just make sure you're gone and you enjoyed your life, that you did the best you could, and that you really shot your shot. You know what I mean? You didn't just throw in the towel. That's the two things I want to talk about today. I love you guys. Um, Make sure to check out my website, raymolina.com. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. My name is at It's Ray Molina. And the podcast is on Instagram at The Perfect Mess Pod. And I'm also on Twitter. I am Ray Molina. That's it, man. That's what I have. All right. Like I always say, my life isn't perfect. Oftentimes it's a mess. But for me, it is the perfect mess. I love you. I'll talk to you guys soon. God bless. Peace.